Good morning, Booker Elementary. Today is Monday, October 14th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for our moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the moment of silence. Thank you. You may take your seats. We do have some birthdays we want to recognize today. Happy birthday to Tyon Z. Davis and Haley Jewett. Don't forget to come by the office after announcements to grab your birthday pencil. We also want to do a birthday shout out to Miss Urquhart, who works down in kindergarten. If you see Miss Urquhart today, be sure to wish her a very happy birthday. A few announcements from our clubs this morning. There will be dance practice tomorrow, Tuesday the 14th. Please meet in room 126, Miss Hanson's room. Practice is over at 3:15, so please be sure you can have someone there to pick you up at that time. Also, a reminder that this Thursday will be our first community art club meeting from 2:15 until 3:30. A permission slip with details was sent home with club members. Don't forget to turn that in to Miss Evans no later than Wednesday, the 16th. And she says, remember to wear your painting clothes. So I'll make sure to remind you guys a little closer to the date. We are still taking these yellow cards. If you have students, if you have one in your book bag, please make sure you turn it into your teacher so we can get it to Miss G. And last but not least, teachers, I included it in the weekly update. We have a new word for this week. Our word is perseverance. That's a tough one. Perseverance. The definition is trying to do something even though it is difficult. This would be very similar to being determined or being persistent, not giving up. So, this is a good one for our girls on the run. An example sentence would be, although it was hot and miserable, the girls on the run persevered and finished the race, so they didn't give up. Teachers, we have a read aloud that goes along with this, and I included that also with some activities. Thank you, Mr. Falker. And it is about a young girl. There she is. You can see her. Actually, look at the cover. Maybe you students can make some predictions about what she has to persevere through. I see notebook paper. I see a pencil. I see another student. Looks like they're reading a book. So it kind of looks like she might be in school. So this story is about this little girl. And I'm only going to read a few pages, teachers. You can read the rest of it with your class. The grandpa held the jar of honey so that all the family could see, then dipped a ladle into it and drizzled honey on the cover of a small book. The little girl had just turned 5. Stand up, little one, he cooed. I did this for your mother, your uncles, your older brother, and now you. Then he handed the book to her. Taste! She dipped her finger into the honey and put it into her mouth. What is that taste? The grandma asked. The little girl answered, Sweet! Then all of the family said in a single voice, Yes, and so is knowledge, but knowledge is like the bee that made that sweet honey. You have to chase it through the pages of a book. The little girl knew that the promise to read was at last hers. Soon she was going to learn to read. So here she is. She went to kindergarten, and you can see she's working hard. She's got her classmates there, and she really hoped to read. She always saw the first graders reading, and her brother told her, in first grade, you'll learn how to read. So here's where I'll stop, teachers. In first grade, Tricia sat in a circle with the other kids. They were all holding Our Neighborhood, their first reader, sounding out letters and words. They said, boy, and look. The teacher smiled at them when they put all their sounds together and got a word right. But when Tricia looked at a page, all she saw were wiggling shapes, and when she tried to sound out words, the other kids laughed at her. Tricia, what are you looking at in that book? They'd say. I'm reading, she'd say back to them. But her teacher would move on to the next person. Always when it was her turn to read, her teacher had to help her with every single word. And while the other kids moved up into the second reader and the third reader, she stayed alone in Our Neighborhood. Trisha began to feel different. She began to feel dumb. Maybe you've had a similar experience, maybe not with reading, but maybe you've had a similar experience where you just felt like you weren't very good at something. But the key here with our word perseverance is to not give up and to work through that. And so teachers, if you have the chance to read this story about our young girl who struggles to read, it's a great example of how students can persevere through something that may be difficult for them. Here's another character that might help us understand what the word perseverance is, thanks to Miss Fell. Perseverance, this is Moana, if you don't know that character. And she had to persevere through many obstacles to save her village. If you've seen the movie, you know at one point when she was traveling the ocean, she wanted to give up and turn around, but she persevered and kept going and ended up restoring, I believe it was the heart of Te Fiti, to save her island. So she is definitely a very determined young lady. That is all for today, teachers. I hope you get a chance to talk about perseverance and how students can persevere through things that may be difficult to them. I know last week I had lots of friends that wanted to share some of the discussion, so if you see me, feel free to share some of the ways that you persevere through things that may be difficult for you. That is all for today. Make it a magnificent Monday, and remember, Booker believes, students achieve. Have a great day.